It's late for this live. I don't know how this works. This is my first time going live on YouTube, and so I do not know how this works. So I'm going to just start talking, and hopefully, people will just jump in. I am going to share it over to Facebook because that's where I went live before, and that was pretty good. So I'm going to let me see if I can share it now. Okay, so I am back. So I don't know how this works, but like I said, I'm going to just start talking to the camera, and because I'm assuming this is going to stay on YouTube. If you have any tips about how what I'm supposed to be doing when I go live on YouTube, please let me know. I did a master class on Facebook a few weeks ago. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and I enjoyed it so much. But I left so much stuff out, and I got a lot of messages from people with questions that I did not answer because I didn't even think to answer them because I didn't know what I was, going to talk about. So I have some notes here so that I do not forget. Because what I found with social media and going viral and, just the many people that go viral and that build a following and that kind of thing, that they don't necessarily know what to do. Now, I see there are some people here. So I do not, let me see. If you guys have any questions, type them in. I don't know if I can see them. I'm going to try my best to answer them. But I wanted to talk about what happens when someone wants to go ahead and start creating content on social media. So I am a Christian. This is content creation for Christians. And so I find that not too many people do content creation when they are born again believers because they don't know how. And so what I find is that most people only want to post scriptures. That's all. They want to post scriptures, they want to talk about God, and it's kind of like they're using the Bible as their content, which is kind of weird because you have a gifting and you can put everything around that gifting. So we are born again believers, but you still have other gifting. Now, if you're gifted to do, to sing, to teach, to be a pastor, whatever the case is, use that. But don't just use scripture as your content because that's what we are seeing, and that's what we have seen the past 10, 15 years, is that most content creators use scriptures and they use the Bible, but then when you look at their life, they're living a whole different way. And that is not acceptable because if you are saying that you believe God and you believe the Bible and your kingdom, that means that's how you're supposed to move day in and day out. So I am the same person. What I post, what I do at work, when I'm at home, I'm the same person all the time. I never change. And so basically that's I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted to talk about some pitfalls that I noticed happen and that also happened to me years ago while I'm starting so late in life. And so I wanted to talk about that. So, basically, we're going to jump right into that. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time and your word. Thank you for those that are watching this video or that will watch this video. And I pray that they are blessed by the information that is presented. Father, I thank you that the platform that you give them will grow exponentially because they are trusting you for everything. So, we believe that in the name of Jesus. So, Nehemiah. Nehemiah had a job to do, right? So he was supposed to build a wall. He was supposed to rebuild a wall. And so he was on his way to that wall. People tried to stop him. They tried to say, "Oh, well, this is that and is that." And he was even on the wall and they were trying to get him to come down off the wall. And he was like, "I'm not going to come down." It's not because he's prideful. He was in obedience. And so what I find happens with a lot of content creators is that they get burned out. They're not doing what God called them to do. So then they get burned out very easily. And then what happens is they stop doing it. Or this big one is they're in the wrong relationship. So that happens a lot. I have heard, I don't even know how many people, you guys might be able to tell me the number of people, but I have heard from a number of people that when they started creating content and when they had a good page or a good thing going, that the person that they were dating told them to stop. And they stopped because they wanted to be in that relationship more than they wanted to do what God called them to do. I was with a person, I was dating a man that told me to get rid of my Facebook page and he would marry me. Now, that was absolutely the moment he said it, I knew it was from hell. Because, see, what is happening now is that we are in the digital age. Everything is done online. I had my Facebook page 10 years before I ever even met this man. And he still felt like, okay, if you get rid of this page, I will marry you. Because something in him knew that at some point I would realize who I was and I would start moving in that thing. And so that's what's happening now, is that a lot of times people end up with the wrong person. They end up dating the wrong person. And while they're in that relationship, they can't 100% be be themselves. They can't move in their gifting because they do not want to scare that person off and they do not want to offend them. But I'm going to tell you right now, you better scare them off and you better offend them, because God has something so much greater. He has something so much greater, and you cannot allow people, they have nothing to do with your end, to affect it. Those people are temporary, they are seasonal people. And so you cannot allow that. And so that is the biggest drawback that I had years ago, because when I would post something and I would get a lot of comments on it, he would see those comments and we would get into a big argument about it, because he felt like I shouldn't say what I said. I shouldn't say it as angry as I said. It was just different things that offended him. So then I found myself angling everything around his feelings and his emotions. Another thing that I noticed is that your family. Now, I know y'all love your family. I touched on this the last time. On my last page, I only had 23,000 followers on my Facebook page. And I had a lot of family, a lot of people I went to high school with, a lot of people that I grew up with, friends and cousins and everything else. But the stuff that I post, it was causing them to be offended and it was affecting the family life. So it was causing them to be offended. So then what I found myself doing was, again, I started to kind of taper what I was saying. I tried to smooth it out. I was trying to make it so that they were not offended. Well, that was not fair to me. See, because God called me to be a certain way. And if you think about it, in the Bible, those people that God called, a lot of times, most of the time, He take them away from their family, because He knows that your family will influence you. Now, if you want to keep the same page, keep the same page. But I found that when I lost that page and I have this new page, and this page is at over 100,000 followers now. I have maybe three family members, and that would be mother, brother, and my niece. And those are people who accept me fully, and they don't say anything about it. They are not offended in anything that I say. Other family have tried to friend me. I do not accept it. I will not accept it, because what happens is we will get into an argument, and because I am someone who does not want to offend them, and I don't want to make families, uncomfortable. So then I found that I was somehow, listening to what they have to say more than God. So that's not something that I wanted to do. So if that's something that you have a problem with, you might want to create a whole new page, and just they have to understand, you have to do what God called you to do more than what man has called you to do. That is not important. And so what happens is, a lot of times people will also talk you out of your purpose. So there was a woman that created something called Spanx. A lot of you guys heard of Spanx, and she created Spanx. And she basically was doing this thing, and she did not tell any family. She said, I'm not going to tell any family, because if I tell them, they're going to talk me out of it. A lot of times people mean well, but they have no idea what God called you to do. And they do not want you to suffer the pain of embarrassment or loss. And a lot of times that thing also affects them. So if she would have went out and created Spanx and it would have failed, she might have had to borrow some money. And they may have felt some kind of way about that, So a lot of times that kind of things happen. So you don't tell them. And so many times you have to move without anybody's approval, and you do not need anybody's approval. All you need is the approval of heaven. And I'm assuming if you're doing this thing, that means that God has already approved you. He's already told you what to do. And so that is one thing. So then also, a lot of people have told me, and I've written this stuff down, a lot of people have told me that they don't know what their gifting is. Now, when I hear that, I tend to think you do know, but you may not want it. So basically, I knew years ago that I was someone who would motivate, that I'm someone who would coach. Prophets have said it, all kinds of things have happened. And I'm like, I am not interested. I'm just not interested. I didn't want to make videos. Everybody wants to be behind the scenes because behind the scenes is safe. You don't have to get the criticism that comes with being on video. So even now, I sit up, I turn on the phone, I start making these videos, and then a lot of days I wake up and I have these comments and people are calling me names and slurs and I get threats and all kinds of stuff. And I used to take it so personal. And I'm really working on not taking it personal because I understand a lot of this just comes with it. And also the enemy will send people. And so many times, if you're called to do something that's out front and you fear man, that's going to be a problem. And this is why you need to get comfortable in who you are. So I want to talk about getting comfortable in who you are. Heard this woman say something the other day. I was listening to this book and it was really good. And she was talking about how she never posted on social media because it was never the right time. She either had to do something with her makeup, she had to do something with her hair, something wasn't right with the lighting, like all these things that they were just all excuses. And so that was me. I was someone who did not have a light, I didn't have a microphone, I didn't know how to applied makeup. I was born in 75, so I was a teenager in the 90s. And in the 90s, teenagers, we didn't wear a full face of contoured makeup. We didn't do any of that stuff. So I just never had to learn how. I've always gotten used to how I look. So then I got into filters. And so when I got into these filters years ago, I would post all these photos with filters. Well, then when I saw my own face, I didn't like it. And so when you go live and you make videos, that is your face. I don't even know how to put a filter on videos. And so that is your face. So you have to get real comfortable with who you are. But if you're someone who must have a filter, that speaks to something inside of you. No condemnation, but you have to work on the thing that's inside of you that's making you think that there's something wrong with the face that God gave you. Now, of course, we can do things to fix it. We can fix pores. We can fix too much oil. We can, do stuff to take care of your skin so that you don't have a problem going live without having all the stuff, all the things and the filters. And so it was that. And then when I decided, and I don't even believe it was me because if you know me, you know that I've been dyeing my hair since I was 16 years old, dyeing my hair black. I have always had black hair. I've always loved black hair. And then recently, I just felt like, no, I am done covering who I am. I am done with the dye. I no condemnation now. If you wear dye, go ahead and wear your dye. But what I'm saying is that was something God had to deal with me because I had been dyeing my hair since I was a teenager. And so recently, I decided, you know what? I'm going to just accept me, who I am, all the way through. Even now, I don't have on a lash. I don't have on no lipstick, no foundation. I have nothing on, and my hair is gray. And so that was another thing. And God waited until I made peace with me so that I can speak to you. So before that, it was like I just wouldn't do it. I would never go live before that because I just felt like, no, I'm not going to do it because I don't want people to talk about me. That brings me to the next point. People talking about you. People are going to have an opinion. It doesn't matter what you say. You can be saying the best thing in the world. They're going to all have an opinion. And then many times we don't want people to think of us negatively. Well, unfortunately, we all think of someone negatively, even family. So if you think about your own children, you don't always love what your children do, but you still love them. So even if someone has a negative thought about you, it doesn't mean that they do not like you. And you're never going to get everybody to like you. If everybody likes you, that means that you're compromised. So you want to be you and you want to be the most authentic you because there is a group of people that are called to you, okay, just the way you are. And so we all have something to offer. And so I'm not sure if anyone has any questions or comments, but because I can't see it, I've never gone live on YouTube. Let's see if there is anything. Not, what is that? Oh my God, y'all. What am I doing? Oh, Lord, Lord have mercy. Let me just stop. Uh okay, hey. Yes, yes. Charlene, hello. So let's see if I can move this up. Yeah, So that's it. So that's what you want to do. And also, as far as um, what to create, what is your content? What is your content? So I get that a lot too. What is your content? What is the thing that you love? I mean, a lot of times we want to be humble, but the bottom line is, what is the thing that you love? Even if you just love comics, show us comics. Think about the people in the Bible. Think about Moses. What kind of content would Moses have created, right? So, what would Moses have created? He was basically going into Pharaoh, talking to him about letting people go. So that is the content. That is what he would. That's what he would talk about. Noah was building an ark. What content would Noah talk about? He would talk about building, right? He would talk about the stuff that he used, the type of wood. He would talk about building. Okay. When you think about Paul made tents, but he also wrote a third of the New Testament. He would talk about the thing that was the most dominant in his life. So if you're someone that's into nursing and you have a job nursing, tell us about that. Now, you don't have to violate any HIPAA laws. A lot of people do that. I don't get that, but a lot of people will. And so the thing is, you can just tell us about things about nursing that we do not know. Take us on your ride into work. Tell us about the cases you have. Take us on the ride from work. Tell us about the cases that you handled. Give us tips what we can do. If you're someone that is a singer, sing some clips. Get your favorite songs, sing some clips, try some clips. Tell people to give you songs to listen, to sing. So basically, everything is content. And so if you're a kingdom content creator, I would prefer that you did it based on gifting. But until you find that, get comfortable and just start posting. Now, you need to do it consistently. A lot of that I find people do not do it consistently. They will post something, they do a video, week and a half later, they do another video, week and a half later, there are no videos. And so then they get tired, they get burned out, they say, okay, and they just give up. But if you're called to do this, it should be something that wakes you up. It should be something that gets you up. The vision should drive you, it should not drag you, right? So that's that. And so then you want to also make sure that you're led by God, because He's going to tell you if you should post on YouTube, if you should post on Facebook, if you should do TikTok. He will tell you that because that's where your audience is, right? So that's that. Does anyone have any questions? I'm glad I'm able to see some comments here. Charlene, thank you so much. I am glad you were able to catch me here as well. Derek is my manager, and he's on YouTube, and he's done extremely well, and he's helped me to grow this page, and he helps with the comments and the thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of helps with all that stuff. He's great at that. He's got something called School, SKOOL, and that's where you would just go right over there and learn how to do this. And so he's urging me to go live on YouTube because there are people here that may have questions for me, or they may have something that they want to talk about. We don't necessarily have to talk about content creation, but is there something that you would like to talk about? I am here to talk about that. So I know it's only a couple of you guys on here. So anybody got any questions? I'm going to go down. A posting strategy. Oh my God, yes. So that's basically every day. So what I'm saying is I always have something to say, right? And so what I do with my notes section of the phone is if something comes to me, I type it out and I save it in the notes and I'll schedule it to come on the next day. Now, the best time to schedule, and you need to figure out how your followers work, is that I normally post first thing in the morning when people are waking up, around lunchtime, and in the afternoon at like 5 or 6 o'clock when people are getting off work. So those are the times that people are scrolling. Now, Derek tells me on YouTube that a lot of my videos are viewed at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So I don't know, but I post every single day. You want to post something every single day just so that you will get in the habit of sharing the stuff that you need to share. And so you can always get a posting calendar, but the thing is, I don't like to make things complicated. You don't need to get a calendar for that. Just post something every single day. You can even post a question, you can post some pictures, but you want to let the platform know that you're serious about creating content, and you want to let the platform know that you are available and that you are serious, you know, that you're available and that you're serious. And so that's why you need to post every single day. And you may want to get into making videos. People do not buy brands, they buy you. And so, even if you have the best video, but you are not a very nice person or you don't sound nice, they don't necessarily like that. You could have the best thing in the world, but they're essentially buying into the idea of you. And so you want to let people know who you are, your real authentic personality. Can you go into detail about posting and intention? Okay, so I don't post what I don't care about. If you don't care, they don't care. And so if I don't care about baseball, some other people might. I don't care about baseball. So you're never going to see me post about baseball. I post about things that I enjoy, things that touch my heart. And so when you post, and you're posting about something that you love, we need to be able to feel that. Whether it's just that you love chicken, well, just post all different types of chicken. Tell us about the chicken. Get passionate about the chicken. Talk about the chicken. So that is the thing. So if you don't have anything to post, if you don't have anything that you're passionate about, maybe you shouldn't post anything. But it should always be what is touching your heart, what you care about. What is it that you care about? That's what you want to post about. And you want to do that at least once a day. I prefer breakfast, lunch, and dinner because people go to breaks and before they leave for work and when they come home. So they have some time to look at it then. I noticed that I have the highest numbers when I post things in the evening, because people are home from work and they're sitting at home. So, any other questions? Hello. So, yeah, so I also have in my link tree, I have a link that you can do if you are interested in taking a course, if you're interested in a discovery call or a catalyst call or just some prayers and that kind of thing. All that stuff is on the link tree, and I'm going to post that right under this comment. How many subs you needed to go live. Now, so the thing is, in order to monetize on YouTube, you need 1,000. And now to go live, I am assuming you also need 1,000 because Derek he was concerned that I may not be able to go live. So let's see. Yep. Okay. All right. And anything else, Charlene? Yes. So, okay. So with this, you have currently 75 for this channel. Are you posting on it every day? You're welcome, Stefan. Thank you so much for coming on. So you should, with the YouTube channel, what I do is when I share a video, good, because that was my problem early on. I was not consistent with YouTube because I was so used to Facebook. I was not consistent. And so with YouTube, now what I do is whenever a video gets up, I share it onto my Facebook page. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a whole series for YouTube only and share it on YouTube first and then send it over to my Facebook page. Now, make sure you have your SEO all optimized and make sure you have the right hashtag so that the right people find you. And so that is another thing that you need to be consistent. Make sure you have your SEO good and make sure you are consistent with your posting. What are you talking about, Charlene, on your channel? Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. So if you guys have any other questions, you can always, I left my email address the last time. You can always comment under here. I will be checking comments, and you can always go right to my inbox on Facebook and just message me there. And you can also set up a call if you want to go a little bit further in to try to help with that kind of stuff. So, yeah. All right, you guys, I did it. I told Derek that I would do it, even though I was afraid to go live on YouTube because I know it's the public, and the public can say some mean things. But um, yeah, so I'm glad I did it. So you are talking about biblical womanhood, homemaking, parenting from a biblical perspective. Okay, so now is that something that you are doing, or is that something like, are you actually doing this? I wish I could invite you to talk about it. Could you get on here? Let me see. So, is that something that you're passionate about? Is that something that people ask you about? Yes. Okay, great. And so, be sure now, what I'm reading from this, and the thing that's sticking out the most is the countercultural issues. So, that might be something that is there, that you might want to kind of focus on that. Only because, the homemaking parenting, that's all amazing. Everybody, we all love it. I feel like in this hour God is doing something different with the cultural stuff. Like, there has been a whole lie that has been sold to us, and I feel like he is really doing something there. So yeah, if you share that and make sure you hashtag it, and I want you to be authentic. I don't know why I'm feeling like I need to say that. Be authentic, like really talk from the heart. You don't need a script, none of that. Speak from your heart. Tell us the good, the bad, the ugly, because there are going to be some people that have experienced that and that want to hear it from someone that's also experiencing it, that is brave enough to actually go and talk about this on video. So, yeah, I'm so happy for you. I'm gonna have to find your channel, Charlene. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys over on Facebook. How do we? I don't even know what I'm doing here. Let's see. Hmm, how do we end?